My initial reaction when I found out Aaron had committed suicide was at first one of shock, and it really didn't set in until hours later when I realized I couldn't talk to him again, and that I was never going to speak to him again, and that he was gone. My first reaction was one of his lawyer, because his fiance needed me at that moment and needed me to do various tasks and needed me to do my job. So I didn't have time to grieve right away. I had to work, and it wasn't until much later that I actually got to mourn his death. And it still bothers me significantly till this day. Aaron once said to me that he loved Cheyenne so much that he was willing to sacrifice anything and everything for her. And with the sincerity, the way he said it, and with the sincerity that he said it, it helped me not only understand how much love he had for her, but it also helped me understand how she stood by him for so long. People always want to wonder how Cheyenne just stood by Aaron all this time. That many young women her age and in her situation would have bailed out on him a long time ago. But she stayed, and she stood by him. And until I got to hear him express how much he loved her, I didn't fully understand that. My name is Jose Baez, and I'm a defense lawyer. A defense lawyer is the one person, the one advocate that a citizen accused is given to defend themselves with. Being charged with a crime is a terrifying experience. And this is your one person to guide you through the legal system in an ethical manner that allows you to put up a defense and to speak for you when no one else will. I think what will surprise people about Aaron Hernandez is how little they really knew about the real Aaron Hernandez. One, he was not a killer, and two, the evidence against him was extremely weak. My relationship with Aaron was that of a big brother type of relationship. There were countless hours where we sat there and talked about everything but his case. Most of it was about life, where he was at, where he had been, and where he hoped to go. One of the things that most people don't know about Aaron was just simply what a kind, caring individual he was. You would meet him, there was no one else in the room. He would always give you all of his attention and actually express a genuine interest in you and those that you loved. And you rarely meet individuals like that. But that was Aaron Hernandez. When the trial ended, I felt very strongly that they would come back with a not guilty verdict quickly. I did not understand why it took so long. And as time goes on, you start having your insecurities and doubts started to creep in. But if I go back to at the close of evidence, when everything was all said and done, I don't think there was, he was innocent without a shadow of a doubt. It wasn't until several days afterwards, the questions that came back, that we started to actually doubt that they would come back with a not guilty verdict. All along, we were really very confident, not to the extent where we were overconfident and we started to neglect things, because I think that that's a clear trap. But going into this trial, we felt very strongly about the evidence, and we thought, as it unfolded, that it was going to unfold positively for Aaron. Now, this is not something I shared with Aaron, because I wanted him on his toes. This is something I have the experience of going through trials and murder trials, and I wanted to make sure that he was attentive and did not get overconfident. But at the end of the day, from the beginning to the end, we were extremely confident that he was going to be acquitted. Towards the end of the trial, and at the close of all of the evidence, those feelings had only amplified. And that's because the trial ended up really working out even better than we thought it was going to be. Because as witnesses testified, they started to volunteer more things that were in Aaron's favor. Like the fact that we had 3 eyewitnesses that placed him completely at a different place, and 3 other eyewitnesses who described someone with long hair and cornrows. We knew about some of those witnesses. We had no idea how well they would testify and how clear and convincing his innocence was going to be for this jury. I absolutely believe that Aaron Hernandez was wrongfully convicted in the Odin Lloyd case. I think it was a combination of factors, most of which being the way the evidence was presented and unfolded before the jury. He should have had a different approach, one that showed the complete picture so people could understand the reasonableness of some of his actions. I think there were multiple signs of CTE in Aaron's background and in Aaron's life, but they showed up in flashes. I think what Aaron did a tremendous job in was hiding it and suppressing it as much as he could. Rather than seeking out help, I think Aaron tried to bottle it up inside as he was fighting what he couldn't really understand was happening to him. There came a point where I specifically had to make a decision whether to explore the issue of CTE as it relates to Aaron. I chose against it because, one, I thought the evidence was strong in his favor that he did not do this. He was innocent. And two, any mention of CTE might give off the indication that we were trying to use that to mitigate his actions. The fact of the matter is that in the course of my representing him, I had never seen so much evidence of innocence that clearly pointed that he did not commit this crime. So I didn't find it necessary, and unfortunately for him and his life, I wish I had done differently.
Understand why she passed.